Hey, what's going on, everyone? Sly, and make a quick video talking about what happened at the Shrine Bowl. I was reading an article from 49ers Web Zone today, and I saw that the Niners were talking to Chris Paul. Not that Chris Paul. I'm talking about Chris Paul, linebacker, Ole Miss. Great year this last year. I think 111 tackles, 3.5 sacks. A dude that was in the backfield. The part that I love about Chris Paul, he had 11 tackles behind the line of scrimmage, which says that he just loves going downhill and getting you. Which, to me, that's what the Niners love, man. They love guys like that, guys that just go. Don't think about it, just go. And he was one of the better linebackers out there in the NFL. Now, to me, he could be a little small because I know he's like 235. He's got to get a little bit bigger, I think. But if you have that speed and you have that freaking dog in you, I mean, the Niners want you, you know. There's a reason why they're talking to him. And like guys at the Niners interview, they are interested in you. Like, look at the years past, all these guys that we talked to at the Shrine Bowl, at the Senior Bowl, at the Combine. A lot of them we end up drafting. Like, we end up going for these guys. So, obviously, they're interested. They're definitely interested in him. But, like, thinking about it, like, dude, does this mean, like, it might be the end of Dre Greenlaw? Like, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it, like, they're probably thinking of, all right, which linebacker are we going to do to replace Dre Greenlaw? And to me, that sucks. And to me, I think that is something you just don't do. You don't get rid of a guy like Dre Greenlaw, who I think is the heartbeat of this team. Don't get me wrong, Chris Paul looks amazing. But Dre Greenlaw, he's a stud, man. We saw what happened last year in that game against the Rams, where he was the best player on that field. The best, hands down the best player on the field. Coming off the injury, and me, I was skeptical. I was like, you know what? He might end up like Navarro Bowman. Remember Navarro Bowman getting hurt in that NFC Championship game against Seattle, broken leg, comes back. He just wasn't the same. Like, he wasn't the same. And in my head, that's what I was thinking. I was like, Dre Greenlaw, he might not be the same. And when I saw him playing, just balling out tackle after tackle behind the line of scrimmage, covering tight ends, just absolutely knowing where to be, this defense was completely different. Completely different. And we're hearing the going rate right now is probably 1 year, $6 million. Is he worth that? Like, hell yeah, he's worth it, man. Like, to me, even if it's 1 year, $10 million, me, I would try to sign him to a longer contract. Because, yeah, I know you're dealing with that risk of injury and stuff. But this dude's a baller, man. And sometimes you're going to take a risk on these big-time guys, you know, guys that are hard hitters, guys that have that intensity. Look at the damn Super Bowl, man. We're probably going to win that thing if he doesn't get hurt. Like, this dude was a freaking stud that day. They couldn't get nothing going. He gets hurt, and all of a sudden, Oren Burks comes in, gets roasted. 2020 Super Bowl. Who was it? Quan Alexander inserted into the starting role, and Dre Greenlaw was on fire. He's the reason we got to the Super Bowl that year with that tackle against Seahawks. They bench his ass. They put Quan Alexander back in the game, and he gets worked. He's the worst dude on the field. So I'm like, it's happened time and time again. This year, we had Campbell out there, and he sucked. I mean, you see the difference between Dre Greenlaw and any other linebacker we try to put out there. Like, there's a huge difference. Huge difference. So, to me, you don't do it. And the fact that they talked to Chris Paul, it does scare me a bit, because Chris Paul, he's going to be a second-round pick. At worst, a third-round pick, but a second-round pick. You don't go out there and get a second-round pick if you don't think this guy's not going to start. Like, that's what I think they might be leaning towards, and dang, that sucks, man. That would suck, you know. I mean, Chris Paul looks like he has game. Don't get me wrong. I really like Chris Paul, watching the film from him. Obviously, he had those great defensive linemen in front of him with Walter Nolan and those boys. But he proved that, yeah, dude, this guy belongs. Like, he might be a stud too. But you never know. It's a crapshoot in that damn draft. So, to me, I don't know, man. I don't know what to say, because, yeah, when we talk to people, man, And a lot of times that we are definitely interested in you. And who knows, maybe the Niners are like, we just can't re-sign him. Like, we just cannot sign Dre Greenlaw. You know, we have Deebo Samuel, who's going to have, what, $19 million cap hit next year, another $19 million. It's supposed to be like $30-something million the next 2 years of just dead money. You know, so I get it. Like, it's NFL. Obviously, we can't keep everybody. But if I'm the Niners, I'm trying to find a way, man. I'm talking to Brock Purdy. I'm like, hey, Brock, like, we're trying to keep Dre Greenlaw here. Can you take some sort of a discount? Like, can you go 48? Like, something like that. Can you do that? Because we want to keep a few other extra guys, and we're not going to be able to. I would do that. I would try to sweet talk Brock Purdy to death. I want Brock Purdy on this team. But I'm going to try to do everything I can to keep Dre Greenlaw on this team. Like, I'm going to be doing everything I can, you know. So it should be interesting, man. I mean, just reading the article today, you know, seeing that, I was excited. I was watching more film on Chris Paul from that, and it was cool seeing his tape. But at the same time, man, like, you can't replace the heartbeat of the team. Like, in my opinion, you can't replace that. And the Niners this year, in my opinion, we got to go hard O-line, hard D-line, like pick after pick, O-line, D-line. There's a lot of talent out there at that D-line position. Like, there's, like, we were hearing one scout was saying that there's 24 potential starters on that D-line. Like, 24, that's crazy. That's insane. So you want to dip at that second round, get one of those defensive line that could be a first round pick, but they're going to fall to the second round, you know? So that's my philosophy right there. Why are we going to waste a second round pick on a linebacker? Because he'll be gone I think by third round. He won't even be there. Don't even think of him being there in the third round. Why are we going to waste a pick on a linebacker, and we should be focused on O-line, D-line, O-line, D-line? So we'll see what happens, man. I mean, it's happened before where we just, in the draft, have brain farts. You know, obviously third round drafting kicker, fourth round drafting a punter. You know, I mean, was it Dante Pettis too in the second round receiver? So there's been some brain farts as far as picks. Now, if we pick Chris Paul, I won't be mad because I think he's going to have a high percentage of being a hit, because I hate drafting bust. I think that Chris Paul is going to be a solid player, but I would rather just keep Dre Greenlaw, find a way, and, you know, draft that D-line in that second round, because that's what we got to do. We got to be kind of like the Eagles, man. Eagles were a ferocious team. Super Bowl, look at that D-line. They were getting after them. Like, what was it? 30% pressure on Pat Mahomes, like the second most of his career. Like, crazy stuff, man, what they were doing to him. So we'll see, man. We're like 73 days away from the draft, something crazy like that. So I'm like counting down, man. I'm counting down till that. We got to hit again. We have to have another great draft, and we have to pick positions that we need to hit on. O-line, D-line. We need to hit on these positions. So should be interesting to see what happens. Chris Paul, another guy that we're talking to. So keep that in mind, man. There's a few guys out there that we've already talked to. So I'll do more videos on those guys. But it should be interesting to see what happens. What John Lynch and company end up doing for the draft. But man, that's what I got. Let me know what you think. Dre Greenlaw, time to move on, or keep the guy, man. Pay the man. Let me know down below. Talk to you next time. Peace.